Good afternoon, guys. Well, afternoon for me. If you look around, got a little bit of daylight, etc. But welcome back to the Fergie Way with me, Teach FM. And as you can see, I finally got round to painting the dining room for the missus, so I managed to get myself some brownie points there, which is always nice. But in today's episode, we are going to be playing Leicester. Now, Leicester, of course, having won the Premier League in what you would call recent years within the game. However, they've never really done much since. Jamie Vardy, however, has always been quite a strong striker, so if we're going to get hassled today, it's going to be from him. Do have a bit of news with regards to injuries, though. Fucking international football. So we'll start with David Alaba, and he did get injured for 4 to 6 weeks. It was for something ridiculous, like something a football would never do, like kicking a ball or running. It was something dead odd. Just odd. So we got a 4 to 6 weeks injury. It was on international duty. He's back in 4 to 9 days. However, we do have Borthwick Jackson, so I'm not overly concerned. It is good. I've said this before, but sometimes when you get injuries to what you consider to be your starting players, your key players, it's sometimes nice that they get injured, and it sort of paves the way where you're, as a manager, you're pushed to play some of these younger players that you're trying to breed into the team. And another player who picked up an injury once again in the international break, which is a little bit annoying. We'll talk about that in a second. But it was a 3-week injury for Smalling. Once again, he's back at roughly the same time that Alaba's back. And needless to say, none of these guys are going to feature today, which is no drama. So, internationals. It's a good thing. You want players to compete at an international level. But why is it they always get injured? I mean, they always get injured on internationals, maybe with the exception of Renato Sanchez and I think it was Ibrahimovic, both having bad injuries. But it always seems to be when you get injuries in internationals, you never lose just one player. It's always 2 or 3 every single time. But the great thing is we've of course bought Romagnola, we've got Twinzabi, we've got Rashawn Williams, we've also got Eric Bailly. I've got no dramas whatsoever, and once again it's a little bit less of a selection headache being down the centre-back. So that was all we had in the way of news, and obviously in the last episode we did play Juventus, and as we expected, Dybala scored against me, of course, because I tried buying him in the summer window. He come to Old Trafford to give me a big fat fuck you. So as we limped away from that 1-1 draw with Juventus, licking our wounds somewhat, we then went to play Bournemouth. And thankfully got back on form, or certainly back onto what we consider form here on the Fergie Way. We ran out 3-0 winners. Once again, Pogba showing his class this season, and it's continued on. We'll see that in the next couple of games. But Pogba getting the early-ish goal, 20th minute. We managed to add another one through Sanchez in the 80th minute and Rashford. It sort of flattered us a little bit somewhat because it was the last 10 minutes when we really sort of put the tie to bed. But Juan Mata having a screamer playing an 8.8. As you can see, I did feel pretty much a strong team here. But Bournemouth, 2 shots off target and only 1 on. A little bit poor from them. So we are showing that we're still dominant. It just feels like this season that we're not clicking. We're not quite where we have been in season 1 and 2. Which in its own way could create an interesting season, you know, if we take a few more beatings here and there, which is not bad. The only thing I want to do is concentrate on Europe. I've said this before, but Champions League this year is our aim. So when we get to Premier League games, we will be fielding sometimes somewhat weaker teams just to save the legs for the Champions League. We then took a visit of Swansea to Old Trafford, and thankfully Marcus Rashford managed to find himself a little bit of form, bagged himself a hat-trick. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, as you know, who's not been doing all that great just lately, has come back from that really bad injury. It may be the end of him, but we are trying to encourage him, keep him moving, try and keep him scoring goals basically, because a few seasons beforehand they'd been awesome. But yeah, those lads managed to get goals. Swansea again, I mean, they're not getting nails. Defensively, we are an absolute fucking unit. Swansea only managing 1 shot. Just ridiculously poor on their part. And as you can see, I did sort of play out a lot of the younger guys. You know, we got Gribben in there, Gomez in there. So when we're playing Gribben, Gomez, Twinzabi, these young lads who we've been breeding into the team, and they can pull off victories like this against Premier League opposition, this is why I'm so confident that I can save the stronger guys going into the Champions League fixtures. Which is exactly what I did when we went to play Olympiacos in Greece. Now, bearing in mind, in the Champions League, we'd already played 2 fixtures. We drew both of them. So out of 2 games, possible 6 points at the moment, we only had 2 points. So a victory was all important today. And we delivered 6-1. Pogba getting himself a hat-trick. Rashford, Mata, Anthony Martial, all playing well. I also brought on Twinzabi, give him a little bit of legs, and Herrera. But again, We were away from home. Olympiacos did have some decent chances, it has to be said, but we were 4-1 up come the end of the first half. Olympiacos were virtually out of the tie. As you can see, Pogba got man of the match. He managed to grab himself a hat-trick. He got an assist as well. But it was one of those games where it was just really exciting to watch. You know, there was a lot going on in the games. It was the play that was absolutely brilliant. And it sort of gave me a little bit of newfound confidence, maybe that we're going to just sort of kick on now. And the early part of the season was maybe the little stumbling block, getting a little bit cohesion going, getting everybody used to each other again. But with a little bit of luck, we'll continue it on. So that's all there is to it. It does leave us now to go play Leicester at the King Power Stadium in today's live com. So we'll head over to match day and see what's happening. So here we are on match day. We are being completely backed by everyone. Bookies, press, you name it. Our key man's Juan Mata. Their key man is Riyad Mahrez. So we'll head on into the team selection screens. We'll take a look at Leicester first. Now, they have Koju Karu in there. Never heard of this guy. He's obviously a new guy to them. He's a new guy to me. I've never heard of him. But then they have Fuchs, Hoof, Wes Morgan and Danny Simpson at the back. With Mahrez, Drinkwater, Armitage and Albrighton in the middle. Musa and Silimani up top. So their team not changing that much over the last couple of seasons. They have got Kasper Schmeichel on the bench. They've got Fabian Delph down there. Mendy, Ayew. So, yeah, they've done all right. Damari Gray also on the bench. So we'll move on to the United team. And one thing I will say is we did play the Olympiacos game just a couple of days ago. And in a few days, we've also got Wolves in the Cup, who I want to use the youngsters for, because it's their cup that they're defending. So I think it's only right. So I have gone for a strong team today against Leicester. And it is De Gea in net, Borthwick Jackson at left back, Romagnoli, Bailly, Darmian. Then we have Pogba, Neves and Sanchez with Juan Mata sat behind Martial and Rashford. So very strong, so strong that I would expect to win the game. However, we don't know until we get in there. So let's see what Roy has to say. And for the first time ever, since we've had good old Roy here, he's telling me not to type mark Musa. Never seen it before. I mean, he's always handing out the boot, you know, just go out there and kick them, lads. But to never type mark someone, this could be interesting. If Musa scores now, Roy, I'm going to be fucking livid. So on to the team talk. We will challenge the team to pick up where they left off because they had such a stonker. They won 6-1 against Olympiacos. The squad hasn't changed at all. I'm playing with the same team. As we can see, we've got lots of people from a condition point of view, 92s, 93s, etc., etc. But I want to try and keep the younger guys for that Wolves game. So normally I wouldn't start anyone who's at such low in the 90s. I certainly wouldn't start them. I'd maybe bring them on as a sub. However, fixture congestion, all that crap, I've got to. So we kick off the game, and what's a shame is, of course, I don't have Jamie Vardy. Shame for them, maybe not a shame for us, because Vardy, even at 31, his stats are ridiculous. If I remember, we'll have a quick look at the end of the game, but normally, you know, you start the game, he's 29 years old, and you'd think, oh, well, I wouldn't really want to spend any money on Vardy because he's probably going to start falling off the cliff in what would be a couple of months. But I had a look at his stats yesterday, and he's absolutely ridiculous. It's Martial with a cross now, picked up by the Leicester keeper. I'm going to call him that. Oh, no, I'll just call him Kojo. Good old Kojo collects the ball, hoofs it out as far as Musa. Pogba now. It's Paul Pogba on the ball to Sanchez. It's Martial. Out to Mata. Mata takes a shot from distance. Kojo saves it. Rashford picks it up though. Loses out to Wes Morgan. It's gone out for a throw-in. Needless to say, guys, as per usual, we are on extended highlights, so we will... It's great, because I don't want to know when a highlight comes and you're on key. It's like, it's going to be a goal, or it's going to be something important. I want the, it could be. Keeps me on the edge of my seat. Hopefully you guys too. But it's Borthwick Jackson now to Pogba. Pogba takes the ball down to Martial. Martial turns in. Koju manages to save it. Shite shot from Martial, it has to be said. But we're 20 minutes into the game. Leicester have not done anything yet. As Mata whips a corner in. Lands with Rashford. I don't know what that was. Sanchez managed to clear it for some reason. It's Mata now. Mata driving into the box. Sanchez again. Pogba. Oh, you'd think he'd score there. He's been on such good form. Keep on beating this drum about Pogba. But after that first season when he was average, mediocre, has really come on strong. Koju collects a corner. That crosses in. And we are now in the 25th minute. We're carrying 63% possession, 5 shots on target, no clear cuts going around yet, which is no bad thing because I hate clear cuts when you don't manage to score them. It's Darmian now on the edge. Pogba nods it into Koju's hands, and he's had all of the ball quite well. Let's say 6 shots on target now. He's managed to gather everyone. Nothing that looked too challenging. Too challenging? What are you on about? Too challenging though. It's Martial now. Trying to break free up top. He's played the ball to Rashford. Rashford will have Borthwick Jackson to his left. Borthwick Jackson now. Is he going to whip it in? He's got 2 men near him. Out to Pogba. Pogba's going to slap it. Kojo saves again, and that one looked like a relatively challenging shot. It's hit hard from Pogba from distance as Mata whips in another one, and we will get a second corner on the bounce. Mata now whips it in. Kojo comes out, claims it, and it has to be said the lad's doing well. I mean, if we don't score today, Valentin Kojakaru is having a screamer. It's Romagnoli now. Plays it back to De Gea. Eric Bailly, Darmian. Pogba now. Pogba's got a couple of options ahead. One with Rashford, who he goes for. Back out to Ruben Neves. It's Darmian to Martial. Martial turns and Kojo gathers the ball again. Now, I don't know whether he's having a screamer or we're just being quite poor. We're taking some distant shots here. Need to maybe work it into the box a little bit more. But yeah, he's doing all right. Borthwick Jackson to Pogba. Pogba to Sanchez. Mata now. Sanchez again. To Mata. Martial. There's so many Leicester men back here. They've got almost everyone behind the ball. It's Martial. Drinkwater intercepts. Lands with Pogba. Still with Pogba's Rashford. I don't know whether Pogba's maybe took a little bit of a knock. He's looking very tired already. We know that Pogba does tire quite early, hence why we're in this compact formation. If you're with us at the very beginning of the Fergie Way, we played a flat 4-4-2, but Pogba struggled somewhat in that formation. So basically, we're fit around the world record signing. Currently sat on 71% condition, which is, yeah, we'll see. I mean, these guys did start a little bit tired today. Anyway, we are going to assertively tell them that we're not happy. We want to see something else. But more to the point, I want to single out Rashford because he's playing a 6.5, which is ridiculous. So I'll tell him on his own as well that he's not been good enough. And hopefully we can go get something in the second half because we have had 12 shots to their 1. We have been dominating, but we're just not doing anything in the final third. Not being clinical whatsoever. It's Albrighton now. Neves clears it only as far as Armitage. Back with Albrighton. And oh my God, we've just nearly scored an own goal. I'm pretty sure. I don't know whether Silimani was in the gaggle of United defenders there, but it looked like one of them just powered a header at De Gea, who had to dive to keep it out. It's Borthwick Jackson now. It's put across. Martial hits a shot. It ricochets out. Mahrez will try and carry this out now for Leicester. End of the highlight. We won't know where he got to, but the ball was back with De Gea. It's Pogba now. To Rashford. Borthwick Jackson out on the left inside to Pogba. Ruben Neves. Pogba's on the ball again. Sanchez now. Borthwick Jackson back to Pogba. Pogba will not strike one from distance. It's out with Jackson. It's put across the box. And once again, now that time, Kojo definitely made a great save, to be honest, didn't he? Mata, Romagnoli nods it down to Kojo again. He's had 10 shots put on his target. That's 10 times. He's managed to keep the ball out. And it has to be said, we must be putting this lad's value up today. We really must. It's Martial now. 2-on-4. Fuchs comes in, strips the ball off Martial. The front two not been too great today. There's been enough chances. We have had a clear-cut chance, which is frustrating. As Pogba drives forward, Albrighton strips it off him. What we're going to do is we are just going to go to opposition instructions. We're going to give Albrighton a little bit of hard tackling because he's now carrying a little bit of an injury. And Martial now in the box as we come back to the game. Once again, Kojo, great save, cleared out by Huth, and they almost countered from it. We need to be looking at doing something different here. So I'm going to go to the instructions, and I am going to say that I want more direct passing. I want the guys to be more expressive, and hopefully see if we can free up a little bit more space, try maybe carve a little bit of ingenuity. As Sanchez now blasts it over the bar. Yeah, a little bit of ingenuity just to try and do something at the other end that the lads aren't quite doing at the moment. We'll try and get up to them a lot faster with the direct passing and hopefully being a little bit more expressive. Those flair plays that, your Pogba, your Mata, these guys can maybe do a little bit more with the ball. That being said, we are heading into the 70th minute. Sanchez now, and they're going to counter. They're going to have 3-on-1. Oh, nothing. Shame for Leicester, it did go to nowhere. But 70th minute, we're going to look at making some changes. You can see Pogba is absolutely blowing out of his arse. So I did make sure I put Callum Gribbin on the bench because we like young Callum, don't we? But also, Memphis Depay's coming on for Marcus Rashford, who's been poor. We're going to bring on Zlatan for Martial. So we've made 3 forward-thinking changes. Hopefully they're going to come to fruition because 0-0 in the 70th minute in a game what you really should be winning, even though it's away from home. Not the greatest as Mata now to Rashford. The substitutions have not taken place yet as Martial comes into the box. Kojo makes yet another save. That's 12, and the few of these saves really have been top draw. So the substitutions have all come on. We've got a quarter of an hour left. I'm also going to tell the guys to go to more attacking football. And with a little bit of luck, we can fashion a couple of chances as Fouche just puts the free kick over the bar. I want us to fashion a chance or two because no one wants a 0-0. Nobody else. Neves now. To Gribbin. Gribbin plays it forward, but Ibra won't get it. It's to Renato. To Mata. Mata to Memphis. Gribbin again. Mata. Out to Memphis. Borthwick Jackson played into Gribbin. Gribbin's got 3 men round him. Does well though. It's Mata. Puts it wide. 78th minute. There's time yet. There is time yet. Borthwick Jackson. It's Ayew. Leicester having only had 2 shots up to now. Rob McNally strips the ball off him, but it only goes out as far as Mahrez. Silimane, distant shot. It does take a deflection though. Leicester will get a corner with 10 minutes to go. And this is going to be an absolute kick in the balls if it goes in. Doesn't mind. Rob McNally clears it out. Mahrez will collect it though. Come on, we need to push on. It's Mahrez now. Out to Bailly. He's managed to nod it out only as far as Musa. Darmian's took the ball from Musa. It's Ibrahimovic now. As Depay's trying to break the back line. Plays into Mata. What's gone on? Oh, that was absolute bullshit, Mata. It's Musa now. Fuchs. Lucky deflection sets Ayew off. Ayew into the box. De Gea with a save. Out Borthwick Jackson. Gribbin's got the ball now. Can we force a counter? Don't know. Highlight disappears. Really frustrating. We've got 5 minutes to go, and it looks like Leicester are the ones who are turning it on here. It's Wes Morgan on the edge of the area. Ayew tries a shot, but it gets deflected out. Musa collects it at the corner. It will be a Leicester throw-in now with 5 minutes to go. It's Borthwick Jackson to Gribbin. Gribbin plays it to Ibra. Ibra down to Mata, to Memphis. Sanchez. Ibra, nothing. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. 4 minutes to go now. It's Ibrahimovic. To Gribbin. Gribbin plays a bad ball. Mendy collects it up. It's Kojo, clicks it clear to Darmian. Ibra. Gribbin now, he could have set Memphis free, but he didn't do it. It's now with Memphis to Ibrahimovic, and it's gone over the bar. I get a feeling that we're not getting anything other than a point out of this game today. Gribbin now. Long ball in. Sanchez. Sanchez with... Oh my God! What a finish. What an absolute finish when we needed it most. 88 minutes on the clock, and Renato Sanchez looks to have scored an absolute worldie as it gets cleared out. Lands at Sanchez's feet, maybe 30 yards. Absolute top bag. And in those times when you're really not doing that great, this is what happens with my team. They just manage to just nick something. I mean, Leicester might nick something back here as Danny Simpson whips the ball in, cleared out by the goal scorer Sanchez. And Sanchez comes up trumps. He's been on the pitch since the beginning of the game. He's probably knackered himself right now, but just levered one from distance. It's Mata now to Ibra. Ibra's going to set Memphis off. Is it going to be 2-0? Save once again by Kojo. He's had an absolute belter. He's probably going to end up man of the match, I would imagine. But Darmian now with a throw. Musa knocks it out. 2 minutes left on the clock. I'm not bothered if we don't get any more goals in this game, to be honest. We really should have been maybe winning by a bigger margin, but the way that goal was delivered by Sanchez is what Football Manager is all about. You've pretty much just conceded that you're not going to get anything from a gain, and bang, 30-yarder, top bag, unbelievable. Mata now, probably the last kick of the game, I would have thought. We are over, and there we go, full time. We have scraped away from Leicester with a 1-0 win. We've took the 3 points. Sanchez with an absolute worldie. It does give him man of the match, which is a bit of a shame. I really thought that their keeper was going to get it because he made a hatful of saves and then some. However, I'm going to tell them that they were poor out there. Wasn't good enough. I'm also going to tell Martial and Rashford that I was not happy with them today. Not happy with his performance, and there we go, not happy with his performance, because it's playing 6.5 rating, you know, that's when they're not going to be getting in the team. These lads need to know this. So yeah, all in all, relatively positive. What I'm going to do is, before we head over to the schedule, I'm just going to pull up Jamie Vardy and show you him at 31 years old. So as we know, Jamie Vardy, of course, injured for the game against Leicester, but at 31 years old, I mean, if you'd buy him coming in at the beginning of the game, it'd be 29, so you'd get... A lot of people would be concerned about buying a player at that age, but look at his stats. I mean, he's 31, and his acceleration and pace, bearing in mind, probably one of Vardy's strongest points, his defensive game, his work rate, his engine that he's willing to put in at the top of the field. 18 and 18. Unreal. So if you were looking at starting an FM career and you were thinking about who you're going to be, and if you had the Wonga as a bigger club to buy a player, Vardy would genuinely be a viable option because he's not going to be a one-season wonder. That being said though, today's episode is all done and dusted. Let's go take a look at the schedule and see what we'll see in tomorrow night's episode. So in the next episode, we'll come back for the Olympiacos game. It will mean that I'll play the Wolves game with the youngsters in the EFL Cup 4th round off cam. I'll also then play Southampton, who I expect will probably give us a decent game. And then I'll play Olympiacos on the next episode, which will be grand. So before we call it a day, guys, I would just like to say thank you very much, genuinely. The growth has been amazing. Tomorrow night's episode will actually be my 50th episode, and that'll be 50 consecutive days of content where I've not missed a single day, so I'm genuinely quite proud, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. If you have enjoyed today's episode though, if you could hit that like button, it genuinely helps the channel out so much. So it'll only take a second if you enjoyed it. If you're still here, click the like button. You'll be doing me a big favour. If you're new around here, don't forget to hit the sub button so you can keep up to date, maybe even turn the notifications on down here so that you can get the old ding ding when a new episode comes out. But other than that, guys, I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's episode. I've been Teach FM and I'll catch you later. See you in a bit.